Already? Welcome. Call the meeting of the Pipestone County Commissioners to order. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome to the December 3 meeting of the Pipestone County Commissioners. Present are Luke Johnson, Doug Nagel, Dan Wildermuth, Chris Hollingsworth, myself, Dallas Roskamp, all commissioners, Steve Ewing, County Administrator, and Carrie Menace, County HR. Their agenda is in front of us. Is there any changes to the agenda?
Chairman, if I may just let you know that there's dash lines and minutes are not ready for this meeting. I had a short period of time between the meeting and the holiday last week, so I didn't get them done. So I'll have all minutes for the 17th. Also, no hospital warrants from PCMC and no offlines.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, with those three deductions, I'll move the agenda.
Is there support for that?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. And now improve the consent agenda, improve the minutes, approve auditors warrants of 11/26/24, 11/27/24.
I'd move for approval of the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there support?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Carried. First order of business is resolution 59-28-24. Whereas Minnesota statutes 273.061 declares that the term of office as county assessor shall begin on January 1 of every fourth year after 1973. And whereas January 1, 2025 will begin the new term of office for county assessor statewide. Therefore, be it resolved that the Pipestone County Board reappoints Chris McChesney, county assessor, to a 4-year term beginning January 1, 2025 through December 31, 2028, pursuant to the provisions of Minnesota statutes 273.061, subject to the approval of the Commissioner of Revenue. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second. Go ahead, Chris.
You got, it goes on the paper, so we
That's
gotta
right.
make sure we.
Second. You pick one. Yep.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That carries. Now we'll invite Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. That's right.
Congratulations.
Do we get?
That's in the break room. There we go. You can't escape that quick.
That's right. Got a sign.
Take one when you got one of those full signatures, it just looks like. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Nick. You gotta wait so long? 9:06. Oh, no.
Yeah, you told me don't.
Thanks for chasing her down, by the
Hey,
way.
no problem. Right, first, be some project updates. Our 2024 overlays, gonna go over that in a little bit, and request approval for final payment. Our 2024 box culverts, contract number 1, those are nearing completion. Next page, Stone Arch Bridge rehab. I'm gonna talk a little bit later about approving for that as well. Our CSA 25 project, that's the road by John Deere. Those RFPs, that's where we asked for the consultant's quote for doing the work. I put here that they were sent out because I thought I'd have them out by now, but I don't technically have them out. I think hopefully today I get them out yet, so. Then last update would be our County Road 18 federal overlay project. We've been submitting some paperwork to the state, so that's rolling, moving on, so.
Is that on schedule for next year or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, not like normal overlay, there's like an endless amount of paperwork with federal stuff. That's why we save that money up and try to do a big project, so we only have to do that on one project instead of multiple smaller ones, so. That's it for project updates. Next up would be approving the final payment for the 2024 overlays. I have the project numbers listed there. There was 8 of them. If you recall, City Woodstock kind of backed on us, try to get a better price for their in-town work. The main overage you'll see here would be Duminous mix. Price actually came in so well for the city of Woodstock that they added more streets, so that was the main overage, so. I think they were only gonna do about half the town and they ended up doing just about the whole thing, so
Mhm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome for Great them.
too.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it worked really well for Island. It probably turned out even better for Woodstock, so, it's not much extra work on our part, so I mean, I would encourage all of them to try to do that when they can, so.
Make a motion to approve final payment to Dunick for $128,360.94.
Thank you. Is there support for that?
Second.
Any other discussion? Is Woodstock reimbursing us for some of it or they've done that already?
I'm pretty sure we got the check already. I think that came in last week. I think I remember seeing a letter from them that looked like a check, but I didn't open it myself to
Okay.
confirm, but pretty sure that they have already even paid us for it, so.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That's carried.
Right, next up for me would be to approve final payment for the Stone Arch Bridge. Look at the original contract amount and the work certified to date and do the math there. That's a 0.0077% difference, and I don't think I've ever had a project that large come in that close before, so. Pretty incredible right there. But, no, things went well. I'm very, very happy with it, so.
Especially considering their weather issues.
Yep,
The
yep,
big rain.
right, they technically finished after the completion date, but when you factor in the extra work on the slab and then the weather, they would have been early without that, so I didn't.
And that their equipment got washed away.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it would have never guessed it would have ended that well considering all the obstacles we had, so I'm really happy with that.
Well, Mr. Chair, I'll move that we approve the final payment then of $69,547.27.
Second. Thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. Carried.
Not much for maintenance updates. Got had to use it a couple times now. Some training for equipment repairs, cleanup stuff, so. That's it for that. That's all I had for right now. Any questions for me? All right. Well, thank you.
The public hearing is time sensitive, right? Yep. Other business, personnel, you're up early today.
I know we have it organized today. Last week we received from Wayne Drew that he's planning to retire at the end of the month. Discussing his job description as it has been for a while and just competitive. Probably talk about it at the personnel committee meeting since we're having one today. Probably a good discussion topic. The highway department intermittent supervisor role was offered to Mike Apple and accepted. He was the senior most member. The highway department position that we had been avoiding posting, we were almost fully staffed, and then Lauren Gunnick had resigned. We're gonna wait till January, but we've had a lot of interest. We've had 3 people now come and ask about the position, so we're gonna post that immediately. So I'll get with these guys later today, and then personnel committee will meet right after this meeting to discuss the review document that we've been working on, as well as Wayne's position.
Is that gonna be the Edgerton posting again?
We'll post in both
No, I mean, where the job, where he would
Yes.
end up.
to cover that area. Yes.
You aren't planning on moving somebody else there?
The person, if there's a person internally, and my understanding is there is, they'll have to bid into that role, and then we'll have to figure out what we're gonna.
Okay,
So we might have 2 outstanding candidates, and I mean, that's my hope, is that the person who wants to go to Edgerton can go there, and then we have another candidate who's outstanding that we can hire to cover Pipestone. Hopefully.
because some people have asked me about that position, and this is that officially an Edgerton position? Well, it's gotta go through procedures, so
When we post it, we don't say.
you don't
what-
say
what
that
it's for,
specifically.
But that's what we're backfilling when we post, so I kind of keep that in mind, but I do know that there's someone who lives close to there on the team who is interested. He's just kind of new, so he'll have to go through the process just like everybody else.
Okay,
That's what I've got. Poster for the contest will hopefully be done today. Work on it this afternoon.
the door contest?
The door contest that you are all judges for. That's
You're gonna
happening in
make us
2
be
weeks from
judges again?
today, so.
Yep.
Got to give people time to get her done.
Right, your holiday door's done.
I brought in 2 boxes of stuff today.
That's one of the more stressful days for commissioners. You realize that. It's a tough job.
Judge. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Anything else we can handle besides committee reports?
Committee report.
Who wants
It was
to,
gonna be a late meeting.
who wants to start?
On the 14th and 15th, I had AMC Futures, we had a lot of talk about AI and other technology issues. And we heard from one of the Minnesota Supreme Court justices that night. On the 18th, at a MRC Bowser meeting regarding local road wetland replacement credits. Then I had a one watershed, one plan meeting for the Redwood River. And went to the ribbon cutting at the library, which was very well attended. On the 19th, the Personnel Committee regarding the sheriff, with the sheriff and attorneys. On the 20th, Highway 23 Coalition met by Zoom and then went to the annual meeting for RCRCA in Area 2 where Julie Jepson from Bowser presented and Senator Dames and Representative Torkelson were there. On the 21st, went to Prime Health. Last year, we didn't have any big cases. This year, we got 5, so things aren't as rosy as they were, but they're still doing okay. The 25th, the Regional Solid Waste Commission, the 10-year plan should hopefully be ready for review by our January meeting. PCA still has no answers for the demo landfill issues and then went on to a one watershed, one plan meeting for the Missouri River. And on the 26th, attended the hospital board. That's about it.
Thank you. Ready?
For November, Stone Arch Bridge, ribbon cutting attended. On the 4th, Housing Aid Committee met. The 7th was, Prime West Health, Alex. 12th, just a regular board meeting. 13th, our county canvas board. 14th, soil and water meeting. Mike Fritke will be a new board member next, January, I guess, not this month yet. 18th, attended the library ribbon cutting. 20th, Southwest Health and Human Services. The only thing new there, we ran into a lot of discussion with some software purchasing, so it got tabled till this month. And Dan and I talked to Bill on it, and it sounds like it is something that's needed, so
Yep.
we'll.
It involves cybersecurity and also our insurance that we're paying for our cybersecurity as
Yeah.
well too.
People requesting the cost, but it's something that's needed, so. On the 25th, the extension meeting, there's a few things there, Melissa Runk, is that how you pronounce it? Will be leaving us. She's the county ag educator, for Pipestone and Murray. She's taking a new job. It's called, Beef Extension Educator. She'll be located out of Worthington. And, sounds like they'll be seeking an intern, temporary intern to fill that spot until they can get a full-time person. Then I always like to share, they gave us the 4-H kind of update for the year, and I think they do such a good job with 4-H, but there are 267 participants in 4-H, 56 new members in 2024, so that's always impressive how they do with that. So. And then the 26th regular board meeting. That's what I had.
Thank you. Dan, are you ready?
Yep, I am. On the 1st, I had my PACE committee meeting. That's with Minnesota Rural Energy Board. That's in our low interest loans for energy efficiency improvements. We approved a couple of different projects. Also on the 1st, we had a Zoom meeting for AMC Board of Directors as well too. I participated on those Zooms. On the 4th, we'll talk about the ribbon cutting. Was involved with that. On the 7th, Thursday, Doug and I said we're up at Prime West. Also had a Zoom call for Caring Hands as well too. Caring Hands is got a new dentist that just started yesterday, in fact, so great to see that back up to speed. I know that's separate from our business, but also on Friday then, Southwest 18 Mental Health Consortium. Now that we've got ourselves the governance part organized like it is, so we had our first meeting of that with all 18 commissioners. We did our chair and our executive board. Then along with that too, and Steve, I apologize, I'm remiss. I thought that I had let you know that we talked before about that, the trough that they have with their state money, that sometimes it lags and they need to borrow money, as you know, we had the last couple of years. So originally they were gonna, I think each county was gonna throw in 25,000 or something like that originally. But that got sent back and said it needs to be per capita. So it has come back now. I think our final amount is 24,500 or something like that.
24 and change.
And so that has been decided on. So that's been sent out to all of the auditors and then for each county. So we'll have that amount. But I kind of messed you up on your budget. I apologize for that, Steve.
So we're an average county then.
We're an average county.
Average.
Yes, we are. Yep. Then on the 11th, we had our plan ops committee meeting at the hospital. On the 12th, regular meeting here. Also, we had our Explore Southwest Minnesota. Again, they're working on their marketing plan. New there, just trying to get, with their website, they want fresh data. Is that what you call it? Or contributions for their website that for each one of the counties to submit articles of interest. So, trying to think of the correct term that they use, but content, that's what they use. On the 18th, we had the library. Also, I had my SMOC meeting down in Worthington that evening. A couple things we've got done down there. We spent a lot of money on our roof down there, as we did here. So got that roof fixed up down there. Also, the library in Nobles County, which is in the libraries in Worthington, is going to do a major remodel. So we're actually they're in the process of moving their library from where it is into the SMOC building, because we had room in the SMOC building. So for the next year and a half, the library will be our tenant down there. For those of you involved with the library project here, that's quite a project. On the 19th, my Veterans Memorial Committee meeting, making good progress on that. As you know, we've been very active with their fundraisers. The stone, they are about ready to commit to actually ordering the stone, so they can get that part of it started. The concern is we don't want to get ahead of our skis on this. We want to ensure that we can get this project done. There's been a lot of people. So what happens if the project doesn't get completed? It will get completed. That's why we're doing it in these steps, in these stages. On the 20th then, had Health and Human Services, and also later that day I had an ACE meeting as well too. We worked on our budget, and also like all of our other groups, the health insurance for our employees is really whacked the budget for us. So trying to figure out how we're going to make that work. So on the 25th then, I had my Rural Minnesota Energy Board meeting. We had a visitor there talking about the different programs. There is actually a 124 megawatt solar project that is scheduled for on the very west edge of Pipestone County, not too far from Highway 30. And that's looking like that. They're working on their permitting process at this point. They don't have their interconnect. So without the interconnect, it takes a long time. They're thinking possibly in the year 2029, this project might come to be. And that completes my report for the month of November.
Chris.
On the 4th, I was attended Stone Arch Bridge ribbon cutting with the rest of you. On the 12th, I attended a commissioner meeting here, and then a CPT personnel committee meeting on Zoom. On the 18th, I had CPT executive committee meeting. And then you guys hearing about entities looking for cybersecurity. That's actually some CPTs already taken upon themselves. They bought a big package trying to save anyone else who's looking to get into that to save money for public entities too. So that would be a door to knock on. Over listening to that. On the 25th, Had a CPT full board meeting up in Morris. Later that day, I had the extension meeting. Doug was talking about Melissa moving on. She's actually taken the role for the whole entire state. That's, so that was, yes, there's only one position. But I thought that was pretty impressive.
Good for her.
Yes, that was a big move. And there's a lot of factors I think involved too. I think they're able to move closer to their family, farm, property, and a bunch of things too, but that's besides the point.
Hard to move farms.
They are on her husband's side, you know. Yep, exactly. And then on the 26th, had their commissioner meeting here and then hospital board. That was it for November.
Okay, thank you. My report is I did the stone arch in the library also with everybody else. It was a good crowd for both of those. Good crowd for the stone arch ribbon cutting and the library opening. It was good to hear Mr. Minder speak, you know. He's plain spoken guy. Looked like it. And the 7th had an MHA Zoom, part of my training. 12th was a regular meeting. 18th, we had an opioid meeting at Key Largo. The advisory council started out as 6 counties and it's now down to 4. Lincoln dropped out pretty quickly and now Murray County has also dropped out. The total funding received is, as of end of October, was $1,041,823.56. Pipestone was spent $175,382.21. Redwood is 336, Rock 233, Lion 203. That doesn't add up to $1 million, but there's some that's not been allocated yet. They have another round of allocations going out in February, I think. So I hope that they understand what happens when they dropped out of the group. 19th, another MHA Zoom. That one was the most beneficial one to me so far. It was, I'm gonna go back and watch it again as because it was that beneficial to me. So, and the 26th, they had a regular meeting and a hospital meeting. And that concludes my report.
Mr. Chair, if I could, we all mentioned the stone arch as well too, and I know that Nick, thank you for the job you did on that as well too. And I saw that you sent an email thank you to the chamber. Also, just want to acknowledge the part that the chamber played in presenting that program for us. That's always nice to have their support.
It's always nice to have coffee and cookies.
Right. That's right. Cider, hot
Cider.
cider.
Cider, that's right, it wasn't coffee, was it?
With cinnamon red hots.
Ooh, there you go. I'm not a cinnamon fan, so I didn't.
Well, didn't you notice how good that cider tasted?
It was warm. That was all.
It was warm.
It was. I got 9:28. Is that close enough to the public hearing?
Me. I've got Amanda will be coming down and Nick is here.
Amanda is here.
It's gonna be a short items I have on it.
Yeah. You want?
Nick, you gonna come up too? What is the purpose of this public hearing?
The purpose of the public hearing is to solicit public input to determine input in order to determine the 2025 departments, including but not limited to administration, assessor, auditor, treasurer, building and grounds, EMS, environmental, GIS, MIS, jail, planning and zoning, highway, recorder, and sheriff.
That's good.
What you have before you, you should have 2 copies of the schedule. One should say 1/1 of 25 and the other one says 1/1 of 24. It just gives you a point of reference as to what we're changing from 24 to 25. And the only ones I had that requested anything to be changed was Amanda at the Auditor Treasurer's Office and Nick, the Highway Department. So asked to be here in case there are any what the board would have to them. So going down the list, just on page 1 of the 1/125, you should see it in yellow on there. Amanda had put in there a local improvement special assessment based on Minnesota statutes 429.061 subdivision 5. And the cost for that in the previous schedule, we had basically local $5 per parcel. And Amanda is requesting to change that to $100 setup, adding that and then leaving the parcel fee the same, correct? Yeah.
Yep,
Do you have
so
any
just
background or
adding
anything
that
to share?
Yep, just adding that setup fee up front. The $5 parcel will still be charged as it always has. Just be that $100 setup that's getting added. The Yes, and that's just for like assessments that are dealing with improvements, so like the big projects, the street or sewer improvements, and rural water are typical ones. It's not gonna be the miscellaneous, a few for utilities or stuff like that, that we would get from some of the precinct. Those big improvement projects that are have special assessments on.
Did we need a motion to open the public hearing?
Yes, sir.
Somebody would move that, please. So moved.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Nick, what do you got to say for yourself?
I think we requesting to not waive that permits. Some of our. Not that we're trying to get on this. Stop anybody from putting driveway in, it's,
Are there any deposits that you still require to?
yeah, we still require that.
That's all the same?
Yeah, those are. Generally don't have much of a problem.
They widened one in Edgerton, I know, for Denny Smith.
Oh, yeah, yep. By the lumberyard there.
How many new ones do you get every year, or roughly?
Everybody wants more driveways.
Yeah.
Farmers are, got
It's
bigger stuff.
slacking off. There's a lot of widening noise.
Yeah.
Not necessarily new, like you said, not necessarily new ones, but wider.
Yeah, just because of bigger equipment.
Yeah.
Honestly, Nate.
It,
There's a
it,
bunch that happened that I don't even know.
Nick,
So I
when,
don't know.
I'll just comment, it varied a lot.
Okay.
I mean, some years there was a lot of them, I don't know, 30, I don't,
Yeah.
some were 6, yeah, it
Sure.
varied.
Okay.
My biggest thing nowadays, there's a lot of people that wanna make them 200 feet long so they can. Some instances where we've. Those are the people that got. So it's not a problem.
Right. Normal is 60 foot, right? Is that correct?
35 single.
Yeah.
Is that something?
Right, that sounds right, yeah.
Anybody have any other comment on the fee schedule?
Chair, move for approval.
Thank you. Is there support for that?
I'll second. Can we do that in closed session? No, excuse me, this isn't closed, this is public hearing.
This is public hearing.
I second Chris's motion.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That's carried. Make a motion to close the public session.
So moved.
There's support for that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All carried. Did you keep up, Steve?
Yes.
Got them all? Short break till Dwayne gets here.
Good?
He is coming, isn't he?
Yes.
Okay. Remember. We're back in session. Mr. Dwayne Sandy is here as county attorney.
I'm just here to field any questions you may have of me.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, a little background to this meeting. This is the same type of meeting we had a couple of weeks ago with Sheriff Reeman. It's required by a meeting with elected officials regarding salary and budget setting. And we do this annually. And I have two documents in front of you. One is the letter that I sent to Maine, and then also a region-wide county attorney wages for the region and region 8. And for the board's interest, I did budget the salary of 101,059.77 for 2025 for Domain. That's in the budget. There is no action that's required of the board today. It's just for open discussion.
Okay. Does that fit your needs? That number?
Yes. I'm not gonna be greedy.
I didn't say wants. You notice I said needs?
Yeah, the needs. Yes, it fits the needs.
We appreciate the work you do for the county and thank you for especially the work on the bridge project.
Oh, you're welcome. I was glad that came out the way it did.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how long I'm gonna be around, but for the most part, I'm still enjoying myself. Every day is a new adventure. You never know what it's gonna bring. I've always enjoyed working with this board and past boards, whether I was an assistant or the county attorney. And generally, I would say that I've enjoyed working with the staff of the county from all aspects to the communication I do have with everybody. So, I think we just keep on soldiering forward. We built into the budget, 70,000 for a new hire for an assistant county attorney. We've had an ad out again for the better part of a month and a half, 2 months. It's a bobber sitting in the water without any bait. That's what it seems like. It has not got hit on yet, but we'll see. There's some new law school graduates that should be coming out here in December. They'll be taking the bar in January. Other people that will be taking the bar in January that maybe didn't pass the first time around, and we'll be looking for work. As I told you, we're all looking for people out here. I heard one of our longstanding attorneys out of Marshall is Dan Giles is going to retire, so he's going to be leaving a void up there. Don't know who else are going to get in that law firm, but just the lay of the land. We're losing attorneys, not replacing them.
The young lady that we hired,
Erin,
did she pass her bar?
she unfortunately did not, so that's why we still have her working as a supervised practitioner. I have her handling cases just like she was a full-blown attorney. She's doing the omnibus hearings, doing all the complaints. She's appearing in court under my supervision. The only thing she can't do right now is sign pleadings. If she's under my supervision, she can try a case too.
Yeah.
So
Is she gonna retake it sometime?
she's taking it in January again, and she's been studying for about 2 months now. She was real close. When she told me that she did not pass, I didn't need an excuse, but at that time too, she should have been studying for the bar, doing the last minute prep, the last couple of weeks prep, and she was in the process of getting things arranged to move to Pipestone. So it kind of distracted her, but she was only about 3 points short of passing. And I'm certain this time that with, the little extra work, the little extra time, and now she's seen how practical the law works as opposed to what's in the books. And you know, how to address it. It'll help her and elevate her up over that so that sometime in like February, I believe the results will come out. I'll be able to tell you she is passed and she's going to be sworn in and she's going to be a full-blown assistant county attorney.
Don't be afraid to allow her some leeway and time to do that last minute study.
Oh, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. It's more important that she feels comfortable, not pressured, when she goes in to take that exam in January. And so I'm not pushing her to do anything right now.
That pressure is part of the exam, isn't it?
I don't recall it being a moment of great stress when I took it.
How many years ago was that?
31,
30. How long have you been Pipestone assistant and county attorney?
26.
26.
Since February 2nd, 1998, I started.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't remember the stress being there. I had a whole good group of friends. We studied, we hung out together. After the first night of the bar, we decided to go to Billy's on Grand and have a couple drinks before we went home and decided we better take the bar second part the next day. So, yeah, I don't recall it being stressful, but apparently the bar exam has changed a little bit, so they made it harder for people to pass.
Just like everything else, the stress level is part of the test.
That's right. That's right. So you have any other questions for me? Like with Steve, the budget, I tried to, like in the last several years, when we're talking office expense and all that, I've always tried to go about 2%, not 3 or 4, keep up everything. Just keep that from getting too high because obviously the salaries have gone up greatly since when I took office 10 years ago. So
You think the assistant salary will have to increase to get anyone to show up or?
we'll see. We'll see. We're going to leave it where it is right now. We are competitive with other county attorneys' offices and with the public defender's office and what we're offering from the county standpoint and the private law firm standpoint. It's just, Pipestone is a lot like Thief River Falls, only a lot farther south. It's a lot like, the smaller county seats in the southeast part of the state, only we're a little farther west. And someone's got to understand that small town life and rural life is actually a lot better than waking up in the morning to the hum of traffic on I-94. So,
And we can advertise that fact, but they have to acknowledge that for their own self, some people.
and that's the difficulty. Some people just say, what am I going to do there?
Yeah.
Going to realize that one stoplight in town is not a bad thing.
Well, we're only 45 minutes away from a relatively big town, so.
Yeah, there's options here. 2 hours from Mankato, 45 minutes from Brookings if you want to go that way. It doesn't take long to get up to the interstate to go to Fargo-Moorhead area. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll keep you advised. We get a taker and we get someone that we want. I'll be down here telling you we got someone.
Oh, okay. How about, Chip? That is something we have to act on?
Yes.
We have that other contract now, I guess, with Amy and Kayla. They're still willing to do it and go on contract for, is it the same fee? $2,500 a month, yeah, Steve? I think that's what it was.
Same.
For both of them, yeah.
Only changes on it were dates.
And the thing is, working with those two and then the other attorneys who might stand in for them, like especially with Amy Ashman and Runchi Lawaji and Wellman. They understand the process. They make it a lot simpler for everybody from the top down. If you get someone who doesn't understand, number one, the working ways of our county and the judges here, it can bottle the system up. But with them, there's always this open line of communication. There's always this camaraderie, friendship, even though we might be on opposite sides of the spectrum. With them representing a parent in a child protection matter, and me representing the agency, there's always this basically unified knowledge of what needs to be done and that we're there to help in those cases. So I would strongly say, let's approve the contracts with them and let's keep them on board so that they can be appointed in these child protection matters.
Jared, move for approval.
Thank you. Is there support for that?
Second.
Thank you, Chris. Any other discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That carried.
Demain, you mentioned judges, and that reminded me of the fact that I understand that Judge Vaggard is going to be retiring soon. Have you got any projections of what that future is?
We're gonna have an opening for a while that's gonna be filled in by judges from the district. Usually there's a lag time between someone announcing they're retiring to the time they get the application process, out there. They do a cutoff, then the judiciary board for the state reviews it. There are a lot of people on that board. Then they'll set interviews. And so after they do the interviews, they'll talk to various people. They'll submit 3 recommendations typically to the governor. The governor does not have to appoint from those 3 recommendations. More often than not, the governor does. But then it's just a little lag time to see, what time the governor has to actually address the judicial appointments. So then once it's announced, there's a starting date. I'm halfway expecting we won't have a new judge seated until probably mid-February, early March at the most. We've heard, there's been rumors out there about attorneys, and you have to be in the district. You got to be in the 5th Judicial District to apply for an opening in the 5th Judicial District. And as far as attorneys close to us, I've heard of 3 people that are in abutting counties that are going to apply or have applied. That deadline for the application process ended, I think it was November 21st. So they'll probably be announcing the interviews here and calling people to set up the interviews within the next 2 weeks. But obviously the holiday season kind of backlogs things a little bit too. So, yeah, I wrote a letter of recommendation for one that understands the system in Pipestone and Rock counties really well. And I have a vested stake in this because I don't want to try to train someone from outside of the area to how we do things and why we are so good and efficient at what we do. So we'll just see how the process works out.
Then the actual mechanics then of the service. Currently, Judge Vaggard comes here to our courthouse. How often?
He is coming every Tuesday. And then they have drug court every other Wednesday. And if needed, he will come up here too. He opted to be chambered in Rock County because he lives just north of Luverne.
Yep.
It's an obvious thing for him to chamber himself there when you have 2 counties. If one of the candidates gets it, it'll still be chambered in Rock County. If another one gets it, they might move the primary chambers up to Pipestone County. The third one that I've heard of would probably chamber in Rock County too, and then we'd be a satellite. But the people who live in the east part of the district, which includes Nicollet, Mankato, St. Peter, St. James, I don't know if anybody over there is going to want to branch out. Usually it's very rare that you find someone from 3, 4, 5 counties away that might be within the district that want to pull up their family. And if they have kids in school or something, pull them up and relocate. So.
Do you foresee greater use of the virtual court like we've had since COVID?
It's slowed a little bit. We've started having more in-person hearings. My hope would be that we just totally abandon the virtual hearings. The system works better when people and bodies are in the courtroom,
Yep.
when attorneys are in the courtroom and everybody's together and you have a chance to openly communicate face to face.
Yep.
Attorneys don't have, especially defense attorneys, don't have that opportunity to communicate with their clients as much. Maybe a phone call here or there, but it's very limited. And then they'll talk to them briefly, maybe but on a virtual hearing, there really is no communication or very little before the hearing. Whereas if we're all in person, that attorney can pull the person aside, take them in the law library or the secure witness room or the jury room and sit down and talk to them and say, how about this? What would you want? Can I go back to the prosecutor? And then we get back and forth and we can settle things just like that.
And with the defendant's constitutional rights to face his accuser.
Yeah.
It's so much more difficult virtually.
It is, it is. You know, at least now we've moved away from virtual hearings for settlement conferences and then for trials on low-level offenses, traffic violations. Because when they were allowing the traffic violation trials, you were getting people from Colorado or Indiana thinking, I'm gonna fight this traffic ticket. That ended up just being a waste of the court's time, on the hope that the officer won't show, so a speeding violation might have to get dismissed. And, you know, it just seems silly. And so now the judges, especially Judge Vega, has taken it and said, no, we're gonna do these trials in person. If someone from Indiana wants to fight this thing, they need to prepare to show up in person at the courtroom on the day of the trial. We're not gonna allow them something we would not allow someone in our backyard, so. So I'm hoping it goes back to the old way. I doubt it's ever gonna do that. But. See,
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Mr. Sandy?
So will Judge Vegard stay on until the new person takes over, or
Nope.
he's done at the end of the year?
he's done on December 31st, as I understand it, and he is advised that, he and his wife are gonna take a little trip to go visit the boys. So
So don't call. Right?
I gotta change my standard forms and change my judge that signs at the bottom when I prepare the orders for the judge.
We have to take action on this. We did it already.
On the, you've got the motion, I believe, on the floor.
Yeah, that one. We carried that one.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Devine, for all you do for the county. Appreciate that.
My pleasure to work with all of you.
Move to adjourn.
You got a couple dates to put in the county board meeting is December 3, which is today. Truth and Taxation is tonight, which is 7:00. Next county board meeting is the 17th instead of the 24th. That's the changes for December.
Correct.
Now I'll entertain a
That I
motion.
move to adjourn.
Thank you. Is there support for that?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Carried.
AMC next week. While you're going.
And get a draft out to you today.
Okay, sounds good.
Problem.